Continuation of our board meeting. Would you join us in standing to say the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and And Joyce, could you favor us with a roll call, please?
Here. Mrs. Hopper? Mrs. Morkerman? Here. Mr. Rattod? Here. Dr. Scorantino? Here. Mr. Jacob?
Here. We have some special recognitions tonight, 3 special recognitions. We are honoring Parkway seniors who have volunteered to serve their country in one of the branches of the United States military. This includes service in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, and Coast Guard, either on active duty or in one of the reserve component forces. We're also recognizing our library card initiative with the St. Louis County Library. In addition, we will be honoring state and national qualifiers of DECA and FBLA. First, I'd like to ask Paul Tandy, our Chief Communications Officer, and not a retiree, but a veteran, to introduce our military honorees.
Sure, you can if you want. Well, good evening, and thank you, President Jacob. This is the time of year when we celebrate the accomplishments of our graduates and look forward to the next chapter in their lives. While many students are making plans to go to college or enter the workforce, some, like those here tonight, are getting ready for boot camp or other similar training as they embark on a career in the military. Some will serve for only a few years, while others will serve for 20 or maybe even 30 years. We know this because we've seen it in the past with students who've joined the military. We've seen it, for example, with members of our Alumni Hall of Fame. Others, however, will decide to pursue other interests after their initial term of duty. But I believe each of them will be glad they served, and they will grow from the experience. And I know that all of us in this room are extremely proud of them and are grateful for the service that they're about to give to our country. So students, as I call your name, would you please come forward to be recognized by the school board? We have a few students who could not be here tonight, but I would like to call each of their names in recognition of their service. So first, from Central High, we have 3 students from Central High here tonight. Adam Barnes. Adam. Here we go, Adam. So as you can see from Adam's shirt, Adam is joining the Marine Corps. Adam's going to go to his initial basic training at Camp Pendleton near San Diego. And after that, he plans to either be in the artillery or serve as a combat engineer. And later on in his service, he hopes to maybe pursue the Special Forces branch of the Marines. So thank you, Adam. Second, we have Max Jakes. Max? Max is joining the Navy, and he is going to be what's called a C, and that actually means construction battalion member. He's going to be a construction mechanic, and his initial entry training will be at Great Lakes, up in the Great Lakes area, and then he will end up down in the Gulf in Mississippi for some follow-on training. I'm also told that he is the last of 6 Parkway graduates, and his sister is a teacher at Central High School. So thank you, Max. Finally, from Central High, Mingu Kang. Mingu? Mingu is joining the Army, and his plans, his initial training will be in South Carolina for his basic training, and then he will go to Texas for his, where he will learn his skill, which he will be a healthcare specialist in the Army. So thank you, Mingu. Are we going to get one joint picture, Kathy, or are we going to do them? Okay, so I think we have Principal, there he is, Principal McCarthy here, If you could also come forward, Mr. McCarthy. Okay, and now from North High, I would like to introduce you to Clark Vitor. Clark. And as you can also see from Clark's shirt, he is joining the Marine Corps as well. And I believe that Clark and Adam are good friends. He's actually going to do the same thing. Clark's plans he'll go to Camp Pendleton first, and his plans are to either join in the artillery or as a combat engineer as well. Maybe they'll get assigned to the same unit someday. I don't believe this person's here, but I'm going to introduce them anyway just in case. Byung-Guk Yu. Is Byung-Guk here from North? I didn't think so. So Byung-Guk is also joining the Army. So I think Dr. Marquardt is here. If Jenny, if you could step forward for a photo with Clark, that would be wonderful. And we have two students from South High. I believe they're here tonight. They're both planning to join the Marine Corps. Caleb Taggart and Luke O'Brien, or Caleb or Luke, either one here. They are not, however, we're pleased that Dr. Patrice H., principal of South High, is here, and Dr. H. is going to come forward to accept the certificates on their behalf so she can get them to those two young men. Thank you, Dr. H. Dr. H. will be initially going to Camp Pendleton, serving a 4-year stint. I think the Marine Corps or the infantry would be best for Dr. H. Thank you, Dr. H. That concludes our military recognition. Please give them all one more round of applause.
See if I can remember. Good evening, President Jacob, Vice President Sorotina, members of the board, Dr. Marty, Mrs. Piesold. It is such a great honor to be here this evening to recognize a great group of leaders who have helped us with an initiative that will lead us to a recognition on our For All By All. Many of us have childhood books that were favorites, and a book that touched me, not only the many times I've read it, but as a teacher often, was Bridge to Terabithia. Many of you might recognize that book. The author of that book, Catherine Patterson, once said, it is not enough to simply teach children to read. We have to give them something worth reading, something that will stretch their imagination, something that will help them make sense of their own lives and encourage them to reach out toward people whose lives are quite different than their own. Again, that was Catherine Patterson. I think Catherine must have known our mission and must have known about the importance in Parkway, not only for literacy, but literacy for us to help our students understand themselves and the ever-changing world around them. So last April, President Obama challenged public libraries and schools to get library cards in the hands of all students. We have done that. At this time, I'd like to have Eric Button, the St. Louis County Library Assistant Director, come down and join me, as well as Kristen Sorth, the Countywide Director, and Bill Bass, our Coordinator of Innovation and Library Services, and Kim Linskog, who is our lead librarian in the district. Under the leadership of this great team, we have successfully met President Obama's challenge in Parkway. Over 11,000 library cards have been delivered to Parkway students this year. Our other 6,500 students and families already had library cards. Parkway, under this leadership team, began this effort ahead of the President's challenge. Because of the work of them, the system, the St. Louis County Library System was one of 30 library districts selected to participate in the national initiative upon the announcement of President Obama. In January, Dr. Marty was in Washington, D.C. to participate in a national gathering of public librarians, mayors, and superintendents. Many other areas of the country have expressed a desire to meet the same challenge that we have successfully achieved. We are fortunate in Parkway to have a wonderful partnership with our public library system. Our students now have access to more books that will help them see themselves and help them understand the world around them, to help them foster the sense of curiosity and creativity that our mission calls for. I would like to thank this team. Thanks to them, in Parkway, library cards are available for all. In honor of this work, please help me congratulate them, and we will add them as another section on our plaque of For All, By All.
Members of the board, thank you for the honor of being here and for the invitation. Dr. Marty, thank you. It's because of the vision of the staff and the administration of Parkway School District that we are actually here. They initiated this project before the White House Connected Library Card Challenge was ever thought of in our district. So they came to us with the idea that they wanted every student to have a card, which of course we were all over that. We were very excited about that. And Parkway School District really pioneered this process. And as a result of their cooperative work with us, we now have many other districts who are turning to us and to Parkway School District to follow that same path. So we're very pleased for the leadership of Bill and Kim and the administration of Parkway School District. Thank you very much.
Good evening. I just want to say thanks as well for your support and, as Eric said, for paving the way. I just took a call from the Kirkwood Library today, and they have heard about the successes, and they want to do this and repeat this with the Kirkwood School District. So we're definitely leaders in this community, both your district and the St. Louis County Library, and we're happy to be working together, and thanks so much. I wanted to give you some statistics that we pulled today. As was mentioned earlier, we have 11,144 students that are registered through this program, and as of today, 16% of those have active cards. So that's really amazing. I wanted to pull a couple more statistics about some of the schools that are really ahead in terms of usage of their library cards. South Middle has 42% of their cards have been used. Southwest Middle has 58%. So that means 58% of the students are using their cards. And then Shenandoah Valley Elementary School has 24%. So great statistics, and I know we're talking about how to keep making those numbers go up. So just pleased to be here. We're so proud to be on the plaque. We're really excited. We thank you a lot.
So as we started this process, one of the things that we wanted to do, and we live the mission every day, and we think about what it means to provide opportunities for all. And this, when we first started our partnership with the county library, this was our goal. And so now that we've achieved, and basically we have a system that will perpetuate this on an ongoing basis. So it wasn't a one-time thing. It's something that we would continue to do on a regular basis as part of the registration process for Parkway students. So I consider that to be a giant win just to systemize it. But beyond that, now what we're thinking of is how can we get some of those books in more kids' hands, and how can we get those digital resources in kids' hands, and how can we further this partnership? Because as we know, and as we've talked about before, libraries are changing, and the digital age is changing the way we use information. And so I'm really excited, and I'm really proud that we can be on this plaque. So thank you very much.
I'm proud of my little babies. They're awesome. Yeah, that's great. That's okay. Unless you're trying to get more steps. You're walking around the ACT. Well, hello and good evening. Thank you for allowing me to tell you a little bit about what we're doing in Career and Technical Ed. Board President Jacob, Vice President Sortino, board members Dr. Marty, Mrs. Piesold. Career and Technical Education, specifically our business and marketing programs, is an area for our students to participate in co-curricular organizations and help transfer their knowledge to a new setting and demonstrate learning. Two organizations that support this transfer are DECA and FBLA. DECA is an association of marketing students, and FBLA is the Future Business Leaders of America. Students who participate in DECA and FBLA select a competitive event that they wish to compete in. These events are on the continuum of experiential learning and support students pursuing a relevant and personalized educational journey. Students who participate we are recognizing tonight and their efforts. This year, we qualified 12 students for the state FBLA competition, and those students are going to be traveling to Columbia, Missouri in a couple weeks. In DECA, we had 68 Parkway students who qualified for the State Career Development Conference in mid-March in the Lake of the Ozarks. And from that conference, we had 6 Parkway students who will attend Nashville early next week for the International Career Development Conference. These 6 students will have an opportunity to compete for top honors, college scholarships, and internship opportunities. As a former marketing educator, a DECA sponsor, and a DECA student myself at Parkway South High School back in the early 2000s, I can testify to the opportunities that these organizations provide. The experiential learning and networking, character education skills that I learned are really invaluable, and I believe they're part of the reason that I'm here today. I'm grateful that our Parkway students still have these opportunities. Thank you again for recognizing them and their diligent efforts. They will be receiving certificates signed by Dr. Marty later in the week. Thank you so much.
Pretty old, isn't she? She was in high school in 2000. But I just want to, Amy's provided some wonderful leadership this year, and you can tell from her enthusiasm working closely with Jennifer Stanfill and certainly a lot of the TLA people. But she's done a wonderful job in working with our career technical and really looking for new opportunities. So I just want to recognize her and thank her for her first-year leadership.
I believe this is the lady that organized a career day for 1,400 eighth graders. And what an incredible success that was for many of them came dressed up, you know, like they were on a job interview. So thank you, Amy, so much for that and the many other things that you do. It was back in 1970, I started out with 206 other young men in their pre-induction physical. They asked me if I had anything wrong with me. I said, well, you know, when I get nervous, I eat a lot of chocolate, and nothing I seemed to do got me out of my military service. At the end of the day, there were 54 of us in a room getting ready to get sworn in, and this guy that looked like he was wearing cardboard came in. He really looked spiffy, and he was a Marine. He said, I need 4 volunteers. Oh, nobody volunteered. We didn't want to be Marines, and then he picked. So the worst thing that could possibly happen to you is be somebody that's drafted in the Marines. So my heart goes out to the young man and all the others that are going to serve. And just when it comes to libraries, I think they have an initiative even to library cards for babies, so that there's no excuse. My favorite book, I'm sorry. My favorite book was No, David, No, not because I was that young when that book came out, but he was kind of a little stinker and reminded me a lot of my last kid. And so, go ahead.
I would just like to offer a challenge to our board members, because recently, when I learned about this program, I stopped at the library and I renewed my library card. And boy, things have changed since 2007 when my last one expired. I also paid my $1.08 overdue book fee that I didn't know I had. But it's really wonderful. I'm trying to learn a language online. There's so much available that it blows your mind. So please stop and get your library card.
I accept the challenge.
All right.
One more thing, plus you can check out ebooks. You can borrow a book for your Kindle or other e-reader device, and it's free.
Well, thank you to Paul and to Lisa, and also to Amy. We're going to take a short break, and then Dr. Marty.
Just one more thing I want to say. you heard that I went to Washington D.C., and actually Bill Bash should have gone there, or Kim, but they insisted at superintendent's school. And I actually went with Eric, and I think Eric's, unfortunately, well, they got going here. But we had a wonderful time. And one of the things that we learned, there's some big systems there, Toledo and the Los Angeles public system. They got like 800 libraries in Los Angeles County. But one of the things that Eric and I were very proud of is that we had achieved the goal. We were one of the few, maybe the only community school district that had actually achieved the goal of library. Others were. So we actually got recognized for being a little bit out front. And of course, you know, Bill was really responsible for getting ahead of the game here. So Bill, congratulations. You really deserve the goal, and I hope someday you get a chance to go to the White House, as I did. But it was quite an event.
I just want to recognize one other person. Patrice, your high school, I think, was ranked number 9 in the state of Missouri. So so being a drill sergeant is probably a good thing. We'll take just a short 5-minute break and then continue the meeting. Thank you.